What's your name?
Stan.
Stan. Oh!
A wise man once told me, once you know how to make money and work hard, you'll never be poor. Well, this is how I make my money. Oh, I didn't see you there. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Mike and I'm a scrapper. So in this video I'm going to show you what I did yesterday. I just did a lot yesterday, but you know, I got my cane out. You know, I'm getting old, so I gotta have my copper cane. But went and picked up some stuff. A couple neighbors had some things, you know, stuff like that. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of being a scrapper. All right, and I don't need this. I'm just joking. But yeah. So you know, there's a lot of stigma about scrappers, and I just get tired of it. I've been had my YouTube channel for a few years now, talking about scrap and doing scrap and everything. And I have people who watch my videos, and I have people that are haters. And I really don't care if you watch my videos or if you don't. If you hate me or if you don't, you know. But everybody has different things that they do to make money. I know guys that are contractors, painters, whatever. We could go on and on. But this is what I do. I have built up a clientele of people, businesses and everything that rely on me to take their scrap. People call me, like the guy that called me yesterday with those oil tanks. I picked up from him 5 years ago. He called me, hey, you still in business? So I called him back. He left a message. I called him back. Yeah, I'm still in business. He's like, oh, well, you know, I got these oil tanks. Someone gave me one to replace the two he had, and it leaked, so he just got all new tanks. So, you know, I don't charge a lot of money. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But a lot of times I just have them, you know, to where I can pick the stuff up. But I was sitting there talking with him, and he saves all of his copper and stuff, you know, older guy. You know, he takes things apart, and he's always doing odd jobs. And he had said to me, you know, oh, I couldn't find your number, so I called another scrapper. And he's like, the guy showed up, and he's like, I just told him to leave. And I'm like, why is that? He's like, the guy was like all like shot out, and like he is all shady, and he was like tweaking. He was standing there going like this. He was telling me. So, and I said, well, you know, that's the stigma that we get. I said not everybody who is a hard worker is a tweaker, you know, meth head and everything. And he's like, yeah, well, you know. He's like, I didn't want that guy around my property. He's like, you know, I don't want people like that around my stuff and everything. He's like, you came last time, you were trustworthy. And he's like, I had to dig for your number. And he's like, I found it in an old Facebook message. Which leads me on to what I'm going to say. You know, not everybody that does scrap is a tweaker. There is some people out there that have serious drug problems or, you know, and things like that. And the other thing is that also stems to people who steal things. And people who just are dishonest. And I think that's where the line gets muddied and blurred. You know, it's hard being a scrapper. I'm out here hustling it. Like I shooting this video, like you've seen in the intro. 7:30 in the morning. I've been out here since 6:30 actually. I brought my daughter to the bus stop, and then I came out to unload this stuff on a trailer. And I have another stop to do. But last night I was out till, what was it, 6:30 last night picking up scrap. I did 2 loads to the scrapyard. One was already loaded up, and then, you know, I'm a hustler. I'm out here running around. I'm out here picking things up and grabbing things. You know, people call me, leave messages, hey, I got a pile. I tell them pile it up, and I go pick it up. Half the time I don't do them because I forget about them, and I have so much to do. You know, I try not to work too much, or if I know I'm picking up something tomorrow, real fart, I'll try to, you know, limit my actual driving. Like, I know I'm going over to another place tomorrow, so if a guy called me and he says it's out, I'll try to go, like today, I'll go make a loop and grab that stuff to try to be as efficient as possible. But sometimes it always doesn't work out, and sometimes I will miss people. But, you know, if you have the mentality that you're calling a scrap person and you think they're going to be, you know, all shady and dishonest, That's another thing. And then you get the other people that like, oh, you can't make any money. Well, obviously I proved that. And you can go back and see over the 700 something videos, about 400 or 500 of them are just scrap related. And I show you guys some massive tickets and hauls. You know, people are like, oh, you're just bragging and boasting about what you make. No. What I want to brag about is everything I have is paid for. Trailers, shed, truck, four-wheelers in that shed, all the tools, the house, the land I'm standing on is all paid for. Me and my wife work hard. My wife works 2 jobs, plus, you know, I do the scrap metal. So, I'm buying a new truck, which I haven't heard anything about. And I know I'm kind of going off on a rant here, guys. But this is what this video is going to be about, you know. And some people are like, oh, more scrap and less talking. Well, if I don't talk, then what are you going to see? You know what I mean? I'm trying to inform you, and I'm trying to give you guys information. And I don't look at my videos as just being a scrap video. Like, I show you guys the tools. I show you guys the trailers, the trucks, how I load them. I showed you guys my winter setup. I insulated the shed. And I show you guys what I do for maintenance and the tires that I choose. And to strapping loads down. I've had videos on everything, and every video I go over some things, sometimes couple like the same things over and over again. And YouTube is not easy. You think it's easy to stand in front of a camera and talk? Like, it is not easy. YouTube is harder than doing scrap metal. It's harder than when I was a garbage man. And you know, I got to wear my trash bag today for Halloween. It's Halloween, by the way, so I'll be wearing my trash bag out. If you know, you know. So me and Lunchbox and a bunch of the dads are gonna walk around with the kids wearing trash bags, you know, because we're garbage, so we might as well. But you know, I work hard for everything I got. Nobody hands me nothing. Which leads me to my next point. Yeah, scrapping is hard. People are like, oh, I don't have to work half as hard as that, and I make more money. Good for you. I'm glad that you don't have to do this. You know, I'm paying for 2 kids to go to college. Like, you guys don't understand. I'm paying for 2 kids to go to college, and they're not going to have a college fund. Like, I just gave my daughter money again to pay on her college. You know, she's in her first year of med school. You know, so me and their mother are paying for this. Not my wife, their mom. I have them with another girl. But you know, she works crazy hours and everything too, and everything I do is to provide for my family and my kids, my family, my kids, and myself. So that's why I'm out here hustling. I already have everything I want, pretty much, and you know, I already paid my dues. Like I said, my house is already paid off and everything. I want to build a big garage here so I can have more space to do scrap metal and more room to put things, you know. So that's kind of my plan. So my videos aren't just about scrap metal. It's more of about me, a vlog of my life. I've had some crazy things go on, you know, with the mother-in-law being killed, and family tragedies, and my daughter with the brain tumor, who's doing fine, by the way. She's actually on furlough for school, so she's going to go back to college, I think, next year. You know, I just planned another vacation. I got another cruise I'm planning in March. Like, my life is in a good spot. Yeah, I'm still a little depressed and stuff because, you know, I'm a 40-year-old male. I'm going to be depressed, and I usually don't talk to and tell people anything. Like, I don't really talk to my wife about these things. I don't really talk to my friends about these things, other than you guys. So you guys are more for me than I am for you. And that's what I want you guys to understand. And if you've watched this video, it's probably over 10 minutes now of me just talking and ranting. But I want you guys to know that. You guys, I'm here for you guys. You know what I mean? And you guys are here for me. Like, I need you guys too. You know, I don't make much money on the YouTube videos, but, you know, you guys are a hell of a lot cheaper than me going to see a therapist. You know what I mean? Instead of, you know, you know. But, you know, it's easy for me to talk to you guys because you guys don't judge me. Like, right now I'm talking, you're not giving me feedback, but you will in the comment section. But you guys aren't judging me. You're not it's not a face-to-face thing, you know, which is good. And I don't need your validation. I don't need you to be like, hey Mike, you're doing a great job. I don't need that. I just need you guys to understand that, you know, you guys one day might need someone to talk to, and and work through problems. You know, as a man, that's what we do. That's what men do. We bottle everything up, and you know, we just go about our business. When we say we're okay and we're fine, we're not. You know what I mean? You know, when a man says he's okay, that means he's broken. If he says he's okay, he's broken. But I am broken, but I've learned to deal with it in my life, and you know, one day I won't have to do this anymore. Once my kids are out of college and stuff, I can start to wean this down. I've been doing this for 25 years. I've been doing hard labor for 25 years. And I know I've said this stuff before, but I'm 43 years old. I've been in business for 25 years. And I've been working since I was 16. You know, even before that I was working. And, you know, I didn't graduate high school. And I make more money than everybody that graduated high school with me. I make more money hands down than all of them, except for maybe one or two of them that, you know, were, you know, had money from family ventures before that. But yeah, guys, that's kind of like my rant today. But you know, people are very judgy and everything, and they think that, you know, oh, why don't you get a real job? I've seen so many comments, and you know what? This is my YouTube channel, so I control them. Half the time, you guys don't see the comments because I'm like, boop, delete. I don't want the negative feedback, and I don't want my comment section to be a war zone. I don't want that. I just want everybody to be supportive and have a community back and forth, and have my channel to be like a talking point. You know what I mean? Because my YouTube channel right now, on my analytics, which you guys probably don't know, is like, it shows you like who watches your videos and everything. The age groups, most of the age group is like 35 to like 60. So I'm in my age group, and some of the younger generation people just don't understand, don't know, and they're very judgmental. The older people are not so bad, but then I have these people that just keep coming back in my comment section, and like they just try to like shit on everything that happens, and I don't want that. I want everybody to support each other and have a conversation back and forth. So that's going to be the first talking point of this video. But yeah, so I went and picked a bunch of stuff up. You know, I had a plumber I picked up for, and a Russian guy had a bunch of stuff. So I ended up with this trailer load of scrap metal, and that stuff I picked up yesterday. So I'm going to be moving this on here, and I have other stuff to do and everything. Starting to get a bunch of there's 2 air conditioners, a coil in here, and a Train air conditioner, which I'll show you guys. Let me back up a little bit. So you got, oh, I kicked you. You got this Train air conditioner. There's a water heater, and I got one of the furnace units, which this is the top half. That's the A coil with the ACR copper aluminum rad, and there's a lot of copper in there. And most of the stuff was just tin stuff, you know, stuff that wasn't, you know, the greatest. But you know, you can't just go around and take the good with the bad. You gotta take the bad with the good, I should say. But yeah, so I'm gonna unload this and put this on this trailer, and then go to the next stop. Guy I picked up for a bunch of times has a bunch of stuff. So yeah, we'll definitely be in the money today. But yeah, so I've been really hustling, and I haven't been putting out much videos. I noticed that if I put out 3 videos a week, I actually don't get as many views that if I did if I just put out 1 a week. Which I'm not in it for the views, but it takes a lot of time to do these YouTube videos. You know, this one's going to be easy because it's all one video and I haven't cut it yet. But a lot of times when I'm doing things, I cut it, and I don't think people understand exactly what goes into a video. But, you know, I try to give you guys information. I can't give you information if I don't talk. So people are like, oh, less talking, more scrapping. Well, if you'd actually listen to what I'm saying, you will understand that I'm trying to give you the knowledge and the power. And some of you people out there in YouTube land are just trolls. And some of you aren't, but there's... And I see the names, and it's the same recurring names back and forth. And, you know, my father always said haters are going to hate. But I don't know if they're just being haters or just think that they have to start problems. And I just don't understand that. You know... I don't really care what people say or what they think about what I do. I know what I do. I work hard. I'm honest. I'm fair. And I support my family. That's all I care about. And I don't think anybody else should care either way. You know, if you don't believe in anything that I do, if you think that I'm just lazy, or if I do things wrong, it's great. You're entitled to your opinion. And you can leave it in the comment section. But don't start problems with other people, you know. I'm not the only one that makes a living doing this. If I didn't make a living doing it, I wouldn't do it. I actually hate doing scrap. I've been doing it so long, I like, it's mindless to me. Same thing when I used to work on a garbage truck. You know, it's not hard to stand there on the truck and throw the garbage in there and push the levers and pack the garbage. I didn't drive the truck. I was just a helper. I did the same route for almost 10 years, 2 different times. I worked there for 4 years, and I went back for 6 years, or 4 years, and I went back for 6 years. And I did the same route, and I had the same customers. Like, when I quit, and I was like 2 or 3 years, and I went back, I already knew the route. Like, oh, you're gonna be working with so and so. I said, what? In what area? Oh, you're gonna be in Chihola. I was like, I already know all the stops. Like, and we didn't even have sheets back then, but we had sheets that had the customers on it, and they were all the same customers. There's a couple new ones that I didn't know, but it was all the same thing. And, you know, dump the garbage, put it in there, and go to the landfill, and then go home. Like, it was mindless, and it was pointless, and I wasn't making much money doing that, and I was still doing scrap on the side. I just wasn't full time. And then the one spring, it was really wet and rainy and stuff, and the driver was being a douchebag, and he's like, "Oh, you got to do this. You got to do this." I'm like, "I don't want to do this no more." It rained that spring literally every day for like a month and a half, and I was like, "I don't want to do this." And I was in a community that's right over here from where I live now. And I was like, "Dude, just drop me off at the mailbox. I'm going to have my girl come pick me up." He's like, "Really? You're going to blow me like that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have to do this." I was like, I make more money doing scrap metal. I was like, I only had this because I was paying child support at the time, and I wasn't doing child support anymore. And scrap metal prices were going up and everything. So I made the decision. I'm like, you know what? I'm now a full-time scrapper. I'm now doing this full-time. And my girl was pregnant with my younger daughter, Dream Smasher, at the time. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done doing this. And her dad had a few choice words. "Oh, you know, what are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to do scrap full time." I said, "I'm going to get on Facebook, and I'm going to look around, and I'm going to contact people, and I'm going to contact friends, and anybody I know that has a business or works at a business, I'm going to go there and talk to them. And I'm going to ask them if they have any scrap metal." And I talked to everybody till I was blue in the face, and I just kept getting more and more scrap and more scrap. And then I made some connections, and we started going to a different scrap yard. And then they opened a scrap yard I go to now, Ben Weissman's of Scranton, you know. And I started getting awesome prices, and it was closer, and that just started snowballing. And I got a good relationship with them, and you know, they have people that call them saying, "Hey, Mike, you know, this person's out by you. It's got scrap metal." And then I'm like, "Yeah, give them my number." And you know, and that's what it all just started snowballing. You know, and I actually do less volume now than I used to do because I don't do cars anymore. But I was running myself ragged, and you know, I was working till 8, 9 o'clock at night to load up cars and stuff, and I didn't want that. I wanted to. I used to do big jobs. Like I said before, I only started this doing the piece stuff and the small stuff, you know, which you guys think is big, but this is small from what I was doing. I was going to auctions and buying cars and school buses. Like I told you guys, I bought 80 or 90 school buses at one time. You know, I paid $1,000 a school bus, took the engines out, sold them. You know, I've said this stuff numerous times, and you know, I bought almost $100,000 worth of school buses at one time, and I turned it into $400,000. You know, with the help of a friend. And we both made good money that summer. And, you know, I've done some big clean out jobs and big, you know, factory tear outs. And we did demolition. We did demolition, took all the copper, brass, and the boiler system and all the air conditioner out of a giant hotel. You know, there was 100-something rooms. Look at all those air conditioners. You know what I mean? Those P-Tech units, they're awesome. At the time, they were like $25-30 a piece we were getting for scrap, ripping them apart, not including the cases and stuff. Like, you know, that was another, you know, $500,000 job that me and 3 other people did. Then I did a big clean out at an old junkyard. There was like 30 scrappers up there and guys at different times grabbing everything. You know, they were worrying about the cars and stuff like that. I was grabbing all the small crap. You know, I was going up with the big trailer with 2 guys and loading up the trailer. I was getting 4 loads a day out of there. And of car doors, and like they had everything like car doors, fenders, and everything was like categorized. And I went right for the car doors and stuff, because I couldn't pick the axles and stuff up, and I let them guys do that with the machines. I went for car doors and all the small stuff. Like I had a trailer load of just distributors, because the older cars used to have distributors. I had a whole trailer load of just distributors, car distributors, and they gave me dirty aluminum price. And at the time, I got like 16 cents a pound for it. I had almost 9,000 pounds of distributors and water pumps and anything that was aluminum. And I brought that in, and these guys are fighting for cars, and they were getting $200-300 a car. And I'm like, wow, like the same time it took you to load a car and go to the scrapyard, it took you 2 cars, we loaded all that in there. And I was making stupid money at that job. And I was paying guys like $100 a day to help me, and they were happy, those were the days. But, so now it's a little different now. But now I'm more interested in grabbing the smaller stuff. But I'm working on another big thing, where one place I pick up all their scrap, and it's going to be a big money thing. I don't want to jinx anything because I'm still in talks with the guy. But there's going to be time I'm going to be picking up from one customer, and maybe just my HVAC and my garages and all the small people that call me. I'm just not going to have time. I'm looking at getting almost 1,000, probably 1,000 tons just from one place a year. So that's going to be, and when I'll have the new truck with the lift gate, I might be getting a bigger trailer. I'm going to be thinking about getting a bigger trailer. I think in the springtime I'm going to be selling this trailer here. Not because it's a bad trailer or anything. It's not a deck over trailer, and most of that stuff is going to be already palletized. So this way, I can only put one pallet and then one from the back on this. And the new truck I have is going to be able to tow more than the 150 here. It's a little bit higher than what my 250 was, because they're always upgraded to newer trucks without me giving it away when I'm buying. But if I get a deck over trailer, I can put 3 pallets on at a time, because the stuff's already palletized. So it'll just be a little bit easier for me to do it. But, this trailer's going to go up for sale, and I'm going to buy a new one. I'm going to make sides for it the same way I did. This one is last time I'm done with the last 3 trailers. This trailer's 5 years old, and I usually get rid of them at 5 years. So that's kind of how I roll. Before they start giving me problems, I sell them. If I can get 50% of what I paid for them, I'm still up, But, that's the other thing, if I wasn't making money doing scrap, how would I be able to afford all this stuff? All this stuff is bought and paid for. I mean, I really don't care that people don't think I don't make money. And you can think whatever you want. Dirty clothes, you know what I mean? I really don't care. I'm not in it. It's not a pissing contest for me to try to please somebody. But I put these videos out because I had realized that there was a lot of people that do scrap metal for extra income. They're on a fixed income, they're retired, they're on disability and stuff, and they want ways to make extra money. Or the younger guys, which don't watch my channel, and those are the ones that are most hypocritical. Oh, I don't want to do that. Yeah, you probably shouldn't. But, I taught my daughters the same thing. I used to bring them with me and stuff when they were younger, and I showed them. And my daughter said to me, she goes, "Dad, I don't want to do this." My daughter Reese, she goes, "I don't want to do this." She goes, I'm sorry, I don't want to do scrap metal. And I said, I don't want you to do scrap metal. I said, I want you to know that this sucks to do and that it's not easy. I want you to go out there and realize that, you could get a better job that's a lot easier on your body and you won't have to do this. But if you ever need to, you can know, hey, I could go and pick this up and make a couple bucks if there's a scrapyard locally. And that's what it comes down to. Or maybe later in her life, she might have to. Or, if she can't get a job or whatever, she'll know that, stuff, the metal always has a value. Sometimes it doesn't, it's not as high. And I've seen it to where, wash machines and tin and stuff's only been a penny a pound and nobody wanted to take it. And I still was picking it up then because I made connections that whole time. Which leads me to my next thing, being trustworthy, reliable, and everything. You got this fly-by-night scrappers, when the price is low, they're not around. People are like, oh, I can't find anybody to pick the stuff up. Yeah, because the price is low. Nobody wants to do it. When the price is low, that's when I get the most material, because there's not 1,000 guys out here flying by night picking stuff up and paying paying $600 to $800 for a junk car. What the hell is that? That is just completely asinine. And now people are like, oh, I got a junk car, I want $800 for it. You're not getting $800 for it, dude. You're lucky somebody gives you $100, $150. There's a guy right now paying $500 for a junk car. I don't know how he's doing it. And somebody said that he's going and selling parts off stuff. Well, good for him. He found a niche, you know, to maybe make some extra money and part the cars out and make some extra money on it. I'm not fronting the guy for that. But, you know, that leads me to my other question. You know, if you guys buy scrap metal, like I did a video on buying the rotors and everything. You know, if you buy, say you buy 3 cars and you spend $1,000 this week, and you take the converters off, you upgrade what you can, you know, take the wheels off, maybe sell some tires and stuff, and you crush that car and you take that car in for scrap. That's what I want to hear from the comment section. Do you say, oh, well, you know, I made $2,000 this week. So if you made $2,000 off those cars, did you? No, you made your $1,000 plus another $1,000 back. You didn't make $2,000. You made $1,000 after your expenses of fuel, you know, Sawzall blades, you know, if you had a helper, the cost of buying the material, the car, or anything. Like, you didn't make $2,000. You made $1,000 minus your expenses. And that's the thing. You know, everybody's like, oh, you know, you pick up scrap, but your expenses are probably too high. My expenses run between 8 and 9%. So every day, you could do some quick math. Every day that I put gas in the truck and I have to buy tires or whatever, my maintenance is even less than that. My fuel is my #1 expense right now. Well, actually, it's going to be my car insurance, but we won't talk about that. But, you know, I keep all my receipts and everything, so I know what my expenses are. And, you know, I have a good accountant, so he figures everything out, and we stay within a certain realm of where I need to be. You know, he tells me, hey, you know, if you made $200,000 this year, you need this much in expenses, or else you're going to have to pay. That's why, like, I buy new trailers, new trucks, and tools, and things I could write off. It's a business expense, and that's what it all comes down to. Like, yeah, I make money, but I have to spend so much money. So technically, I'm make money, but I'm buying new stuff. Like this year, I'm going to have the truck, the lift gate, the headache rack, everything I've ordered for the new truck. I'm going to be almost $75,000 deep. This year might be closer to a loss with all my expenses, or I might barely break even. But then next year, when I start making more money, I'm going to have another trailer. So I'm going to have a $6,000 trailer to write off. And that's what being in business is. And if you're not capitalizing on that, then I don't know what to tell you. But if you bring, you know, 2 or 3 loads of scrap metal in a year, it's not going to be a problem. And you're not going to have to worry about it. But when you start bringing in high volumes of stuff and you're claiming it on your taxes, you better have some deductions, man. You see, first couple years when I did it, scrap, and I was claiming it as income because I was making way too much money for anybody who wanted to not, or for people to notice. That first year or two, I didn't have an accountant. I did my own taxes. I was paying in $10,000, $12,000, even with having kids as deductions. And I'm like, why am I paying in this money? So I talked to a friend of mine, and he said, hey, you got to get an accountant, man. You're not doing it right. So in 5 minutes of talking to the accountant, he said, what's your gas receipts? I said, I don't know. I don't get gas receipts. He's like, how do you figure out your gas? I don't know. I just estimate. I don't know, like $2,000 or whatever for fuel. And he's like, dude, you got to keep your thing. He's like, I can write off mileage of the truck. I could write off fuel. He's like, any maintenance? He goes, what tires you put on it? Oil changes. He's like, did the truck break down? Any tow bills? He's like, I'm like, no. You know, and he's like, what did you buy? Any tools? And what about your boots, your clothing, your hoodies? He's like, what's your cell phone? You use your cell phone for work. What's your internet? And I'm like, whoa. So he like, the first year when I used the accountant, I got back $7,000. I was like, whoa, I left $7,000 on the table. You know what I mean? And he told me, you got to buy something next year or else it's going to be rough. And he's like, especially if you make more money. So I went out, not this trailer, but I bought another trailer. Bought a trailer for $3,000. And I had other expenses, and I bought a truck that year too at the end of the year. And I fixed up the one truck I had. So I ended up with 2 trucks. And he's like, hey, you know, you did good this year. I ended up getting back with the tax deduction for the kids and everything, because I was doing 2 kids at the time. I ended up getting back like $3,000 or $4,000. I made more money. Every year I make more and more money. So you have to have more and more write-offs. So then I really start keeping track of things, fuel, down to every little detail. And we add it all up, and I give him all the stuff. He knows the income I make, and he knows what all my expenses are. You know what I mean? And having a good tax guy is great, because all I got to do is just make sure I get my receipt when I get fuel, and, you know, make sure that I have all the receipts for everything I purchase. And it works out great. And the one year I didn't buy anything, what was it, the year right after COVID? I was afraid with COVID and everything, and I didn't know what was going on. So I didn't buy anything. I bought like next to nothing, because I figured money was going to be tight and everything. I ended up having a really good year and making way too much money. I had to pay in $17,800 in taxes. Yeah, that's right. $17,800 in taxes. And you want to know what? That hurt me so freaking bad. And I said, you know what? That's it. I went and bought a new trailer, a new little trailer. I went and got the shed and everything. This was for the year before last. And not the shed. I went and bought the trailer. I was just spending money for the sake of spending money. You know, I was buying things that I needed and upgrading my tools, and I was just trying to actually spend more money so I didn't have to pay in. You know, and I usually have to pay in about $2,000 to $3,000 every year. But instead of paying in $17,000, $18,000, because you have to pay it into taxes, it's rough, dude. It really is. You know, sometimes it was taking me, like that year that happened, it took me like 6 months to come up with the extra scratch after paying bills and stuff to pay that. And you don't ever want to owe the government money. You could owe a bank, you could owe anybody money. You don't want to owe the government money. They will wreak havoc on your life. You know, I had a buddy that he owned a trucking company, and he got back and didn't pay taxes for like 6 years. They came, seized all of his trucks. They seized his credit. They took all of his assets. They made him sell everything. They made him sell the business, and he still owed him $200,000. It took him 10 years, and then they docked his pay. So basically, they docked his pay. He was working as a truck driver for a company, a local lumber yard, and they were docking his pay. And his wife had a good job. He got another wife because he got a divorce in that whole thing. She left him because no money. You know how women are. If you ain't got money, they don't want you. Well, that's a whole other story. But what ended up happening is it took them years and years for them to do it. You know, every year they took his income tax with his kid, the $3,000 to $4,000 he's supposed to get back in his taxes. They took it every year, and you know, he had a judgment against him and a grievance. So the government was like taking a draw from his paycheck every week, and he was like, "Dude, I'm only making like $300 a week." And I said, "Hey, man, until you pay him that money." And they froze all of his, like his credit cards. His credit score was dog shit, and they froze everything for him. And then one day, you know, I noticed he threw her out and everything, and like he was living in the house by himself, and I'm like, "What's going on, dude? You threw her out?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "I finally paid the last payment, and then actually, no, my credit score came back up, and I could actually buy things." And so he was just with her, so she could help him pay off his debt, which I thought was kind of funny, you know, kind of reverse role, if you know what I mean. But gave it back to one of them for finally give it back to the women. But yeah, guys, so you know, this YouTube channel was more for me needing you guys. I need you guys. Like, if you guys, you know, if I don't have nobody to talk to, then, you know, it puts a lot more strain on me. And I like showing you guys the scrap metal and everything. And I know this video was a huge rant and everything. But, you know, this is me telling the truth about my life and about scrap metal and everything, and things that I've experienced. I've experienced a lot of things in my life. Some good, a lot bad. And I have a lot of experience. Yeah, I'm 40. I'll be 43 this year. I have a lot of experience. I have tons of knowledge that I don't even tell you guys, because this YouTube thing is hard when you're just talking to a camera. Like right now, I feel weird. My neighbor just drove by and he's like, probably like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" But I want you guys to understand that this is not easy. I never went to school for broadcasting or like computer things, and I never went for like editing videos and stuff. I'm a laborer. I've always been a bull. This is not Don't take that the wrong way. This is not easy for me. And it's not easy to sit there and talk and put all your feelings out and not make, and not sound repetitive and things like that. And this video is you're only going to see 2 cuts in this video because I'm about to end it. There was one where I moved or 2 cuts. So I'm just going to piece it together and just leave it the way it is to show you how hard it actually is. You know, when you watch people's videos on YouTube, you know, those people have a team of people that help them and edit their video, and they come up with these high quality mint videos. But what you don't know is it takes them weeks or months to schedule it, program it, to shoot it, and they shoot it from different angles, and they go back and redo things. I don't, to make it try to be as interesting as possible. But for me, sitting here and just standing here, I think this is more truthful, and I think this is more authentic, is what I want to say. You're actually getting to know me and not just some polished turd that a bunch of college educated people put together for you. Yeah, is my picture quality that good and everything? No, I don't have multiple angles and I don't have drone shots and stuff. Like my production value may be low, but the knowledge content you're getting is going to be good. So, all right. So if you watched it to the end, let me know in the comment section. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I have a lot of things going on. I'm waiting to get my new truck. So when I get the new truck, the content will pick back up. I've been going through kind of a little lull here of not getting as much scrap metal, other than what just happened. But yeah, guys, remember, it's not a job. It's a fucking adventure. And I know I say that, but, you know, I look forward to the adventure. And I like documenting it so you guys could see the adventure that I'm going through, whether it's a good adventure or if it's a terrible one. But, yeah, guys, get that copper. Hey, look how dirty that was.